What's going on, guys? Super Insane 18 here, and today I'm going to be bringing you part 1 of the ultimate Unchained guide for dealing with Nibiru. Yes, we did say part 1, and that is because I'm going to be bringing you guys 2 parts of this video. For this one, I'm going to be showing you guys all the ways to play around or through Nibiru using just Tour Guide and any set card, and obviously there are other combos for the deck like Sharvara plus a set or anything else we might have, so those will be delegated to video number 2. So if you want to see that, make sure that you are ready for it. Let's go ahead and show you guys the combos. So here is how we are going to do this. We are going to show you guys how to start building the board, and once we get to a point where we are susceptible to Nibiru, we are going to drop the rock on ourselves and show you guys how to play through it. Then we're going to go ahead and rewind the board state and go to the next part of the combo and show you what happens if you get Nibiru there. And I think that this is a better comprehensive guide to show you guys what we're doing if we go step by step what happens when we get Nibiru'd. So let's show you guys what we're going to do. It's going to be requiring Tour Guide plus any set card. We're going to go ahead and normal summon out the Tour Guide and of course use its effect to summon out our copy of the Fiendish Rhino Warrior from our deck, and then we are going to link the Tour Guide and the Rhino Warrior into our copy of Yama. This is summon number 3. We're going to go Yama Chainlink 1 and Rhino Chainlink 2. Rhino is going to send the copy of Sharvara to the graveyard, and Yama is of course going to add our copy of Aruha. In a new chain, the Sharvara is going to activate and set our copy of Abominable Chamber. We want to specifically go for Chamber if we're starting with Tour Guide, because this is the way that we are going to guarantee we have the most interruptions on the following turn. So we're going to set the Chamber, and then we can use the effect of the Aruha, targeting the Chamber to summon itself and pop. That is summon number 4. That is of course going to activate the effect of the Chamber when it is destroyed to summon one from the deck. In this case, it is going to be the Shyama. Now you want to do the Shyama here because if you get nibbed here, this is what allows you to play. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say that our opponent drops the rock on us. That is going to put everything we have in the graveyard and give us a Nibiru token. And now what we are going to do is take whatever card we have set. I'm just showing you guys with the Feather Duster because it's something that doesn't necessarily like combo out for our board. We're going to go ahead and set it, and this is going to then allow us to use the effect of Shyama. Shyama here is going to summon itself by popping our set card, and because a card we control was destroyed, that means we can go ahead and activate the Yama. Yama is going to banish itself from our graveyard to then non-target summon back out our Aruha, and what we are going to do here is Yama has another part of its effect that when you use its effect to summon, you can optionally pop a card. So we're going to use that optional pop to pop the Aruha because we have not yet used Aruha's destruction effect. That will allow Aruha to summon out our copy of Sarama, and then here what we're going to do is we're going to link away the token and our Shyama, which remember goes to the bottom of the deck, into our copy of Unchained Soul of Rage. Here we're going to use the Sarama effect to target and reset our Abominable Chamber, and this is actually going to go ahead then and destroy the Rage. The Rage will activate its effect when destroyed to target and add a Unchained, so we're going to go ahead and add back our Sharvara, and then we can use the Sharvara effect in hand because we haven't used it yet to target the Sarama. So we're going to go ahead and pop the Sarama to summon out the Sharvara, which will activate the Sarama effect when it's destroyed, and this is going to summon back out our copy of Shyama. Now here we will overlay the Shyama and the Sharvara into our copy of Caesar, and that will be the end of our turn. We have 3 cards left in our hand. We have the Chamber, which is going to be able to reborn out our Rage. Again, this is on our opponent's turn. We have 2 interruptions with the Caesar being able to negate summons, and because the Rage will most likely get rid of the Nibiru token so that they don't run over the Caesar, we're going to go ahead and link that into something like a Unicorn for another form of interruption. So with 3 cards in hand, even through Nibiru, we end on 4 points of interruption for our opponent. Now, for play number 2, you can see we've rewound the board state to the point where our opponent dropped the rock on us, and we're going to go a little bit further. So let's go ahead and say that they don't Nibiru us here. We're going to go ahead and activate the effect of Shyama to then go ahead and destroy the Aruha. That's going to activate the effect of Aruha to summon out our copy of Sarama, and now let's say they Nibiru us here. What we're going to do is our opponent's going to drop the rock. We are going to throw everything into the graveyard and give ourselves a Nibiru token, and here is how we would proceed. Of course, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to go ahead and set our card, and using the graveyard effect of the Shyama, we're going to go ahead and summon it by popping our set card. This is again going to allow us to activate the effect of Yama. We're going to go ahead and banish the Yama and resummon out our Sarama. We're actually going to opt to not use the effect to pop because we don't really want to do that just yet. We're going to take the Shyama and the token, we're going to link them away, not forgetting to put the Shyama back to the bottom, and that is going to again go into our copy of Unchained Soul of Rage, and you can see exactly where this is going because it's going to be exactly the same as the previous combo. The Sarama is going to go ahead and reset our chamber and pop our Rage. The Rage is going to allow us to add our Shavara back to our hand. Our Shavara is going to summon by popping the Sarama. The Sarama is going to summon the Shyama from deck, and we're going to overlay into our copy of High King Caesar, and again that is going to end with the same amount of interruptions, same amount of cards in hand, and they Nibiru'd us and it didn't matter. For our Nibiru proof play number 3, we have rewound to where we have the Sarama and the Shyama on board. We're going to say that they don't Nibiru us just yet, so here we're going to take the Yama and the Shyama and we are going to link them into our copy of Unchained Soul of Rage. And now that we are one step further in the combo, let's say that our opponent Nibirus us here. So we're going to go ahead and drop the rock. That is going to put the Rage and the Shyama in the graveyard, giving us another Nibiru token, and now we can do the exact same thing that we did previously, albeit we do have to waste another copy of Rage. We're going to go ahead and set our one card. Using the graveyard effect of the Shyama, we're going to go ahead and pop the set. This is then going to activate the effect of Yama. Here we are going to banish it and reborn out our Sarama. We still have not yet used the Sarama effect. We're going to take the Shyama and the token, linking them into a second copy of Rage, and now we are at the exact same spot that we've been getting to every single time through Nibiru. We're going to use the Sarama, once again setting our copy of Abominable. That is then going to pop the Rage. The Rage is going to activate and add us our copy of Sharvara. Shavara is going to pop the Sarama to summon, and the Sarama is going to summon back out the Shyama, which we then overlay into our copy of the High Wave King Caesar, and we have achieved the same result. And now we've reached our 4th play through Nibiru, so we've around the board state once more. We are at the point where we have Sarama and Rage, and when they Nibiru'd us last turn at this point, we are not doing that this time. This time we're going to activate the Sarama, and we are going to set the chamber. This is going to pop the Rage and add us our copy of Sharvara, and let's say for some reason they decide to nib us here. This is an awful place to nib, but it's possible, so we're going to go ahead and drop the rock. That's going to give us the Sarama engrave and the nib token on our side of the field. Here what we can do is we can go ahead and use our set card, and of course, same as before, we are going to go ahead and use the Shyama to pop our set. This is then going to activate the effect of Yama, and Yama here is going to go ahead and reborn the Sarama. Here we actually get to go a little bit further. What we can do is we can use the Sharvara. We're going to go ahead and pop the Sarama and summon it out, and that is going to allow us to activate the Sarama effect. Here we can activate the Sarama to go ahead and summon the Disaster. Now we will go ahead and overlay both of these into our copy of Wave High King Caesar, but now that we have the Disaster as well, we can actually get rid of their Nibiru using the Disaster effect to allow us to make our second copy of Rage, ending on this board instead. And the reason this is slightly better is because if you want to, I probably wouldn't, but if you want to and predict that your opponent is going to Nibiru at an awful time, instead of going for the Chamber for your first play, you can actually go for the other trap, Escape, because now you'll have a monster to pop with the Escape, and you'll be able to just kind of go off. Now for the 5th and final combo that I'm going to be showing you guys, we have rewound the board state one more time. We have the Sarama on field, which just used its effect to reset our chamber and pop the Rage. Rage has then activated to add the Sharvara back to our hand, and the reason this is the final combo is because this is the last nibbable interaction, and I'll explain why as we get there. So here what we are going to do is activate the effect of the Shyama in our graveyard, resummoning it by popping out our Sarama and activating the Sarama effect. This is going to summon another level 6 from our deck. In this case, it's just going to be another copy of Sharvara. Here now they have to nib us, because if they don't, we just overlay both of these into the Caesar and they can no longer nib us. So let's say they decide to take this as the final opportunity. They are going to activate the Nibiru, dropping the rock and throwing both of these away. The Shyama, of course, is going to have to go to our graveyard, and then we summon out our token. Here we take our set card. We are going to go ahead and use it then as our Shavara target, summoning the Shavara, popping the set card. This is then going to activate our copy of Yama, banishing it from the graveyard, resummoning out our other Shavara that we now have, and then we can go ahead and overlay these into our copy of Wave High King Caesar, again leaving us in the same scenario that we have been in this entire time. We have the 2 interruptions off of the negates on the Caesar, we have the interruption of being able to summon back out our Rage and link with our opponent's monster, which can then of course go into something like a Nightmare Unicorn, acting as our 4th interruption, and that is why Nibiru does absolutely nothing when you normal summon Torguide. And there you guys have it. That is going to complete part 1 of our Ultimate Unchained Nibiru guide. If you guys want to see part 2, definitely make sure to like this video. That is the best way of telling me that you guys want to see more. And like I said at the beginning, part 2 will be showing you the other routes without Torguide, things like if you open up Shavara plus Trap and how you can play through Nibiru in those instances. So you guys know the deal. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, share with your friends. As always, don't forget to check out the channel sponsor Dueling Guard. Using code INSANE18, you can get 5% off your entire order. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.